We've been passing down this query generations down generations. We see that people who are cutting corners, they're thriving, and people who are working hard or rather sticking to their ideals, they're not being successful.
It appears, oh, this person was corrupt and he attained so much of success, and this person was good and he's still not there. In fact, he may be going through difficulties also. So why is this happening? So if somebody is prospering, it is because of the good karmas that they have done.
We also see that my actions are also impacting somebody else's life. Somebody else's actions are impacting my life, and that time we are pretty agitated when we see that जो मैंने किया ही नहीं है उसका मैं क्यों सफ़र करूं. Higher purpose, is it real, or is it just a thing that probably powerful people have made up to make us do what they want us to do?
Multitasking is a myth. There is only switch tasking. There is nothing called multitasking.
Is there a forbidden question about spirituality you think everybody should ask? This is, I think, a common question which we've been passing down this query generations down generations. And even today, on campus and online, we see that people who are cutting corners, they're thriving. And people who are working hard or rather sticking to their ideals, they're not being successful. So there is like a genuine inquiry everybody has कि जो गलत कर रहे हैं वो अच्छे बनते ही जा रहे हैं, उनका सक्सेस होता ही जा रहा है. और हम लोग, if we are trying to stick by the dharma, we are not really successful. How do you see that?
So yes, this appears true, and in a certain context of life, when we see in a small view of a certain number of months or years, then it appears, oh, this person was corrupt and he attained so much of success, and this person was good and he's still not there. In fact, he may be going through difficulties also. So why is this happening? If we understand very clearly that there is a law of cause and effect that is working, it's only a matter of time. Every effect has a cause, and every action will produce a result. So if somebody is prospering, it is because of the good karmas that they have done. They are getting the results of that. The bad karmas, what they have done, the result is yet to come in terms of the external result. Internal result starts the very moment I do the bad karma. The moment I tell a lie, my conscience is split. Now I know I have told a lie. Now my intellect will always insult me. Externally, when the result will come, will come. But internally, the result has already come. I may ignore it and I may put it aside. That is the worst thing that I can do, where the conscience prick also, if it goes away, that person will land up doing so many more wrong things that it will lead to suffering. Good person going through suffering. In fact, if you see, actually good person doesn't have this question. Prahlad never asked the question that I am taking name of Bhagwan Vishnu and Narayana all the time. Why is my father doing this to me? I am going to the UN human rights and I am going to complain of I am a victim of child abuse. He never asked. Because their shraddha in the goodness, they follow goodness because they are convinced that this is the way to go. This is the way to live. And my karmas I have to deal with. When that clarity is there, that I cannot escape my karma, then I will follow goodness for goodness. I will not follow goodness for the result it brings. We have this question because of the result. And we are mixing up the karma and the karma phala. Good results we are mixing up. Bad results we are mixing up with good karma. And good results we are mixing up with bad karma. It doesn't work like that. Good karma produces good results. Bad karma produces bad results. So if we say good people are suffering, it is because of some negative karma they would have done in the past. And if bad people are prospering, it is some good karma they have done in the past. Both these people, the good karmas of the good people have not yet fructified. Bad karma of the so-called bad person has not yet fructified. When it fructifies, then one observes. So if one sees in the big picture of life, one will understand many things. But this big picture of life is again not limited only to one life, which is why the challenge comes.
Right.
The mind chooses not to focus on certain people who are supposed to be prospering, following the bad path or the wrong path. Then they are suffering also. When those results come, people are not seeing, or they are not choosing to focus. Because sometimes we want excuse for our behavior. We don't want to follow morality. We are not convinced about the need for morality or dharma, and so we feel take this shortcut. This is how the world is going on. Which is why Ratnakar's example is very important to understand. When Ratnakar was told by Naradji that who will pay the price for these negative things that you are doing, he said, my family will be with me.
Hmm.
And when he realized, the family is not going to be with him, he has to face it all alone. It hit him very hard that each of us are on our own journey. We are alone in this life.
Right.
We may have people with us, but what I am going through is in my mind, and what my mind goes through, my body will go through. So I am an individual, has to go through what I am doing. My results, others won't be paying the price for it. I will pay the price for it. They are connected to me, they will pay certain price, but otherwise I have to pay the price. So when I know that clearly, that I have to face my life, my results, then I will learn to become. Ratnakar did not find shortcuts. He said, now I need to transform. I need to give up this negative thinking and I need to follow the path of the good. And last point to understand is, when we understand very clearly that when I follow anything negative, the first person to suffer is me.
Right.
Suffering starts immediately. There is no doubt whether it's externally visible or not. It starts internally already. Why do I want to go through that? It is always better to struggle in the world with certain lesser comforts and conveniences than to suffer internally the moral compromise.
Right. Swamiji, you just mentioned that my actions will lead to my consequences and then I'll suffer through them. But we also see that my actions are also impacting somebody else's life. Somebody else's actions are impacting my life. And that time we are pretty agitated when we see that जो मैंने किया ही नहीं है उसका मैं क्यों suffer करूं. How do we understand this whole framework? Our actions also influencing the lives of others and their actions ours.
Yes, because life is interdependent. What we do affects others, what others do affects us, no doubt. But it is interdependent based on karma, it is not random.
Mhm.
So if I am going through something, it is only because there is a karmic connection and I have to exhaust certain karma with certain person, then only I will go through it. Otherwise, I won't go through it. And so that's why if the law of karma is understood well, what we understand through that is each one will get what they deserve. I will not be able to get what I do not deserve, and nobody can prevent me from getting what I truly deserve.
Right.
If I have that clarity, then I will be secure in life. If something has come to me, it is because there is some connection. Now, how do I deal with it and face it now? That is my free will now.
Right.
But it has not come randomly. And which is why it is more important to be alert and conscious while doing karma. Each of us, if we are conscious while doing our karma, that my karma affects others, and others, when they do their karma, they are conscious that it affects me and other people, then life is much more harmonious. Where this doesn't happen and I become very selfish, then that selfishness itself will pull me down more than any other karma of anybody.
Right.
My selfishness itself will pull me down.
One more question I had when you explained karma was that karma, it for me is a theory, as in because it's not visible. So that's our limitation, that we only take cognizance of things that are visible to us. That's why karma for me, okay, I take it because you've given me, I respect you and take it as a theory. And that's, I also take it not just because you've told me, I also take it because it's appealing to my logic, because I don't find any other answer that is going to give some direction to my question, where why this happened. So why this happened is not having an answer even through science. So the best bet I have is to believe you and consider that karma as a theory exists. There is past life, there is punarjanma also. This is where I place myself currently. But it is still difficult to accept whenever something goes south, to accept the fact that you place the whole thing to an unknown factor and tell, okay, it's karma, because you've not seen it. And you've given me an example that Arjun would have had guilt if he wouldn't have fought the war.
We are saying he would be guilty because he expressed those emotions in the first chapter because he feels, no, I can't kill them. At the same time, why is he having a? Then why is he feeling this conflict? He could have chosen clearly saying, "I'm going."
Yeah,
It, the fact that he's having a conflict means he knows he has to do a duty, but he doesn't
precisely.
want to go.
Hmm.
But he wants to go also because I'm getting emotionally overrun. I can't handle that emotional situation there.
Right.
So he would have gone through guilt. There's no doubt in that.
Absolutely. That's a question even I had. That if he really didn't want to fight the war, he might as well
But,
just
yeah, why did he
leave.
even prepare? No? Why did he even prepare for 12 years for the war? He knows he has to fight the war. And there's no doubt in his mind that this is the duty of his as a Kshatriya.
Precisely.
But his emotions have overwhelmed him and he doesn't know how to deal with that.
I think this is the point all of us are going to resonate with. Because in heart of hearts, a lot of times we know what is right. And the agitation is not because I'm not able to, or rather, I know what I should do. And I'm not wanting to do it because something is hindering me. I exactly know what is supposed to be done, but I'm not going to do it because something. So that this whole process is what is leaving us agitated.
That is the question that Arjun himself has asked in the third chapter of the Gita. When Bhagwan explained to him the whole Karma Yoga aspect, then at the end of the third chapter, concluding part, he is asking that question that what is it that is compelling a person to commit sin?
Hmm.
Atha kena prayuktoyam papam charate purushaha. Anichannapi varshneya. Unwillingly, this person is doing sin.
Right.
Compelled by what force? Baladiva niyojitaha. What force is that which is compelling him to do this sin? When we know what is wrong, why do we end up doing wrong? Which is why Bhagavan tells him, it is kama esha krodha esha rajoguna samudbhava. It is desire and anger born out of attachment. Rajoguna, there is attachment. I am attached to something. Intellectually, I know that this is karma and this is good. Good will lead to good result and bad will lead to bad result. But emotionally, I am attached to certain thing and I am wanting it whichever way, hook or crook.
Right.
Because my happiness depends on that. And I don't have it and I see somebody having more money and enjoying and I'm having less money and I'm not able to enjoy.
Hmm.
Now I can start philosophizing and I can start saying ki there is nothing, no law of karma, there's nothing and good people are suffering and bad people are prospering. My attachment is making me, attachment is always narrow. So it's making me see only limited view. How do I have to deal with it is to handle my attachment.
Right.
Because intellectual answer will not satisfy me. I need to overcome my attachment and find my joy in what I am doing. Then this question dissolves.
Correct.
Because I'm not finding joy in what I am doing, I am looking at others and thinking that because they have prospered, they are happy. Because I'm not happy. If I find my happiness even in the smallest of acts, it doesn't matter to me whether I have got money or I got power or I got position or they have or they don't have.
Right.
What really matters is my heart. And if you see small children, they are happy with in such innocence they are and such beautiful things, small things they feel joy. Later as they grow, then they are starting to compare and they're linking their worth with all these bigger, so-called bigger things in life. So I need to find where my happiness is and what is the attachment in my heart which prevents me from being prevents me from applying the law of karma and the knowledge that I have, which is what Bhagavan did in the Gita. Arjun's attachment was removed, then he started fighting.
Right. I mean, I'm left a little bit surprised for the fact that you're not even force fitting this scenario into the current question. It's as if Krishna has really, really answered what we are currently going through. Which also means that has the human race
Not
dealt
evolved.
only with this, I mean, has been dealing with the same problem for eons together.
It has been, the mind has been same. People have evolved and realized higher aspects, but in general, the society grapples with the similar things because we are in a series where some people may have graduated out of school, but there are so many others who are into the school. So we are in a production chain. It goes on like that.
Right, right. Right, Swamiji. So one more thing that I want to ask you, or rather seek clarity on, is that when you say that my actions are bringing consequences to me, I have a lot of actions that I do because of the roles that I have to play. So I currently am a daughter, I'm a student, I'm at a place, I'm a volunteer. So there are different hats that all of us are donning, and there are sometimes clashes on which duty of mine will take precedence. So me as a student and me as a daughter, and there is probably a thing at home, and I need to decide which is going to take precedence today. So in this, is there like a hierarchy which the Gita prescribes on which karma you should perform, which is your dharma which will take precedence?
Gita gives a few pointers.
Okay.
The Gita says, depending on your stage of life, you have to decide first.
Mm-hmm.
If you are a student at student stage and your priority is to gain the knowledge, then that has to come first over family, friends, socializing, enjoyment. It has to come first. It doesn't say choose only that. It says maintain a balance,
Right.
be moderate about many things, but prioritize one thing based on your stage of life when if there is a conflict of interest. Second thing it also says is focus on that which will serve the higher purpose, which will help me to evolve, which will keep me anchored in what I'm supposed to do as a duty.
Okay.
And third thing it says keep focus on that where it will lead to maximum good. If these three things we keep in mind, we will be able to arrive at what I should prioritize.
Okay. You just mentioned a word which is very trendy. It's called the higher purpose. So, a question that we normally have whenever we are friends are meeting up is that higher purpose, is it real, or is it just a thing that probably powerful people have made up to make us do what they want us to do?
So some people may tell you that there is nothing called higher purpose, and it is some people who are controlling big corporations and they want you to achieve certain things and you become a pawn in their hands. But if we actually think about it,
Mm.
what is higher? Anything that helps you to break out of selfishness is higher. If I break out of my selfishness and help somebody in need because I genuinely feel compassion and I feel for their sorrow and suffering, I am serving a higher purpose. If I see somebody not having enough education and I have the talent and capability, and I see somebody struggling and I go out of my comfort zone and try and empower them through the right knowledge in a certain way where I can take some tuition or whatever I do, I am serving a higher purpose. I don't have to think that higher purpose is in terms of high numbers, targets, big things. Anything which helps me to go out of my ego,
Right.
identify with the nature around, with the people around, and see certain oneness and operate from that higher nature of ours, because all of us are ultimately one, then that is serving higher purpose. Now, it can have bigger numbers, it can have smaller numbers, that is uh, dependent on many factors. But there is a higher purpose, there is no doubt. I, as an individual, if I think only for I, me, and mine, limited potential of mine will manifest. If I think in terms of we, it will manifest much more. And lives of so many people explains that. Where they serve the country or where they serve the community, the culture, the poor, the social cause, or even their own profession, where they come out of their limitations, of their ego, of their selfishness, and they are able to create such tremendous impact, and they themselves are so anchored and happy.
Right.
So there is a higher purpose, there is no doubt. And the highest purpose, as Gita says, is to realize your divinity. And the divinity is in everyone. So in that, so there's no question of anybody coming into play. No corporation is going to be able to control you going within to realize your true self.
Absolutely.
So there is a higher purpose, there's no doubt. And the very fact that you and I want to achieve great things
Mm-hmm.
is because we have forgotten our higher purpose and we are yearning to go back to that, our higher nature. Anything that goes out of its true nature will strive to come back to its true nature. And All of us want greatness because greatness is our true nature. Grandeur is our true nature. Infinity is our true nature. So there is a higher purpose, no doubt.
This, I think, brings a little bit of confidence. um, I just had one more query in on these lines. Is that we have a certain kind of insecurity because it's as if nobody's looking out for me. It's just me who's going to look out for myself. So in this whole scenario, why do I even care to probably extend and look out for others when nobody's looking out for me? And every I don't know why, but we are somewhere in this victim mindset that you do you, me do me. So in that scenario, it leaves us in a position where you got to guard yourself pretty much, or you got to look out for yourself, and you have to make sure that you are going the right way. Why do I even think about others?
So, yes, there's no doubt that I have to look out for myself because it's my life, my journey. And I have to be sometimes cautious also. There may be forces who can exploit and create harm to me.
Mhm.
But the truth is also this, that we are interconnected and interdependent and we are one. Even for me to exist as an individual, the entire universe has to be cooperating and functioning in a certain way for my survival itself. The
Right.
air that I'm breathing is coming from so many trees, plants, beings, animals, mountains. If they are not there, I can't breathe. Water that I drink, the things that I do in the world, the laws of karma which are there and because of which I get the results, the people who are around me, who have nurtured me, nourished me, provided me love, knowledge, education, capabilities.
Mm.
There is one integrated whole always.
Right.
Though there are parts, the body is the best example. Puja Gurudev, Swami Chinmaya used to give this example. The body is one whole. Do you
Right.
look at your body as one whole or do you look at the body as different parts, each one doing their own job? If the stomach says, my job is only to digest and I am not going to give this energy to anybody, this is my food, my digestion. Stomach can't survive because the food won't come into the stomach if mouth doesn't pass it on.
Precisely.
The whole body acts as one unit. Precisely is what Vedanta is saying. The entire creation is one.
Right.
And you cannot divorce yourself away from it. All the sorrows and challenges we have created in human life, as well as for the society and the nature around us, is because of this very narrow vision of only I, me, and mine. So you do you and me do me will apply in a certain context, no doubt, because we all have to do our duties. In duties context, you do you and I do I. If I don't do what I have to do, you won't benefit. And if you don't do what you do, I can't benefit.
Right.
But I can't do only I. And you can't do only you. You and I both have to drop that you and I and come into we. Then there is a balance. Both these are important. I have to do what I have to do as well as I have to think of for others.
Right.
The challenge in that is they are not others. If I understand that, they are me.
Right.
Then this question disappears.
Absolutely. So the baseline is that we can't work in silos. We can't
Yes.
operate like that.
Yes.
I in fact also got reminded when we were talking about one thing that appeared on my Instagram feed. It said that if you are thinking that you would bake an apple pie from the scratch, my dear friend, you're in delusion.
Yes.
So how can you even? I mean, from starting from every single ingredient, it's not you who's doing it. So rather, it's better as soon as possible come out of that delusion that you're doing it everything from the scratch. There's everybody supporting you. That's why you're able to function. True that. Um, Swamiji, I want to take this discussion forward and move towards a slightly different aspect that all of us youngsters, because today I represent the youth while sitting with you, it's my responsibility to pose questions to you that all of us juggle with. Um, Overthinking. This is a hot topic and it's like an unending circus. So what happens is, and mostly when we go to bed, when it's precisely time to sleep and you're retiring for the day, you're not really retiring. And when you're as nearing your bedtime, you have as if notifications coming to your mind. All to dos will probably pump in only during that time. So, does Gita comment anything on overthinking?
Yes, Gita does say that Vyavasayatmika buddhi ekeha kuru nandana. That those who have integrated their personality, their minds are single pointed.
Okay.
And so Gita does tell us Bahushakayanantascha buddhayo avyavasayinam. Those who have not integrated their personality, their mind is all over.
Mm-hmm.
So Gita tells us to align our head, heart, and hands.
Right.
I know that there are many things to be done. I need to prioritize, focus, and execute. So prioritize in thought process ki these are the 5 things I can do tomorrow. Focus on it when you are doing them. And Gurudev always said, bring the mind where your hands are. That is ekagrata.
Right.
And then you execute.
Mm-hmm.
When the time for execution comes, don't start over analyzing and evaluating ki should I do, should I not do. You should have done that before in prioritize phase, focus phase. Now you execute. And when you get things done, you feel so happy and satisfied that this is done, this is done, this is done. So also consider how much you have achieved and
Right.
feel grateful for it. Then you have confidence and strength in your mind that yes, there are many things to achieve. I have achieved many more before and many more I can achieve in future. So I can sleep peacefully. The anxiety comes because I feel I won't be able to achieve. What if this doesn't happen? What are the factors that can be problems? How do I deal with it? And what will be the consequences? Now I'm sitting and analyzing all that.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong in objectively analyzing it, but it stems from a certain lack of clarity and lack of confidence.
Right.
And which is why prioritize, focus, and execute. Prioritize speaks about clarity, and focus and execute will give you the confidence. Then overthinking can be handled.
I think yes. To pave our way through this analysis paralysis, probably we can take a cue from you now that we maintain a journal or something where we write down what we've achieved. This is one point you made, which I think a lot of us are not doing, giving ourselves credit for what we've already done, we've
Yeah.
achieved. There's a lot of times that we have not given into lower tendencies.
Exactly.
So those are things we got to be appreciative of, even for ourselves.
Correct.
So I think this will help. All of us are going to take this as a cue, and I want to move a little more forward and take you to one favorite thing that all of us are super indulgent in. That is multitasking. So there's reels going on. There's my TV also, which is put on. There's music system going on, and I'm journaling and I'm doing my work as well as I'm responding to something my mother is selling in the kitchen. Everything together, and I'm feeling as if I'm super productive. So multitasking has become a thing now, and it's something which you cannot avoid at all. It's come to that phase that if you're not multitasking, it's as if you're unproductive. What is your take on this?
I would recommend everyone who is doing multitasking to observe themselves and tell me honestly, is it even possible? Very few people, 6% of the people, their brain is wired to do multitasking.
Mhm.
There is nothing called multitasking, it is a myth. And if I think I'm multitasking and I'm being productive, it is just a myth I'm giving into. And if people are writing it in their resume, I'm multitasker, etc., and that's a skill, we are also outdated. Because today the world has moved away from multitasking. We are
Right.
living in a past era if we are talking about multitasking, because the world has very clearly understood that multitasking is a myth. There is only switch tasking. There is nothing called multitasking. We are switching. If you are watching television and eating food and answering phone calls and replying to your mother all simultaneously, you are not at all doing it simultaneously. You are doing it one after the other. You are just switching between the tasks. At a time, you are doing only one thing. And maybe certain actions are subconsciously built up. So while driving the car, I can listen to some music or I can have a conversation. Even there, the attention is actually switching between the driving and the conversation, if I observe closely. And which is why accidents and many things also are a big possibility there. So I need to upgrade myself. There's nothing called multitasking, number one. Number two, people have understood that multitasking is a big drain on productivity. Psychological research says very clearly 1 hour of focused work is equal to 3 hours of multitasking. So if I'm thinking I'm saving time by multitasking and I'm getting more things done by multitasking, I am not. Research also shows that 50% error rate increases because of multitasking. And enjoyment decreases tremendously. Satisfaction, enjoyment, a certain joy reduces because I am not in the now. I'm escaping from the now. So Gita says, do one thing at a time with full attention. If I have multiple things to do, there is no problem. But at one time, focus on one, get it done, move to the next. So multitasking is not a skill. Multiple tasking is a skill. Where I can focus on multiple projects, multiple tasks. I know that there are 10 projects that I need to pay attention to. It may be 10 areas of my life, but at one point in time, I'm doing one. And I have ensured that when I'm doing that, other things are not interfering in my mind.
Right.
Then I give my best quality, move to the next, move to the next. That is how one actually becomes successful.
Right. I think when we probably slow down and think for ourselves, all of us might, go back and realize that we were extremely productive when we were doing one thing at one time. It's not a new thing, but thank you for putting it in perspective and busting the myth that multitasking is going to save you a lot of time.
In fact, multitasking is a word coined for computers, not for human beings.
Okay.
If you go back, I studied computers earlier, so I know that multitasking and multi-threading, these are two concepts. In that, multitasking is where a computer is doing simultaneously, printing also, copying also, and executing some file also. It is doing simultaneously things. But even a computer's processing speed gets affected because simultaneously things are happening. So now we have built faster and faster computers to deal with multiple aspects that the computer can do. So it's a term meant for computer. It's not a term meant for human beings. The tragedy of today's life is human beings are becoming like computers, and we are trying to make the computers have artificial intelligence and have emotions.
Right, Swamiji. That was an interesting insight actually from your professional background. So, Swamiji, Gita, Bhagavad Gita, we're speaking of that today. We've discussed a lot of things that the current youth is juggling with in the light of Gita towards a solution based approach. And here my question is going to be, because a lot of us are also drawn towards the Gita because we've heard from various places that it is the book that has all the answers. So some of us are also jumping in to pick up the Gita and start reading. We've got a lot of commentaries, and we are probably randomly also following a few podcasts here and there, or wanting to grasp the Gita as soon as possible. But we've heard from you in during the classes of Chinmaya Yuva Kendra and otherwise that Gita is not to be taken as the first text. Could you please elaborate for the benefit of everybody?
So Gita is a text which is meant for graduate, postgraduate, PhD level, if we understand it in academic context.
Mhm.
Would you take a postgraduate book straight away without knowing ABCD? I need to know ABCD to understand. I need to know terms and terminologies which may be there in the postgraduate book. I don't take a book of quantum physics and start studying without knowing what is quantum and what is physics and what is consciousness. I have no idea.
Right.
If I don't know any of these and I say, okay, I'm going to take a book and I am going to study, it is not going to be inspiring to me, or I will not understand its full depth and meaning. Maybe some words I may understand, and it may even lead to a lot of misunderstanding. So Gita is a book which I have to study after studying a few fundamental books so that my base is built.
Right.
So books like Tattva Bodh, Sadhana Panchakam, Bhaja Govindam. So I would say books like Bhaja Govindam one should begin with first.
Right.
Then go on to Sadhana Panchakam, then go on to Tattva Bodh. so that one understands certain basic clarity about Vedanta and even terms and terminologies used in the Gita. Suppose I say the word Atma. What do we understand by the word Atma? People don't know. They think it is some ghost or it
Absolutely.
is something that travels between the doors
Yeah, that's
and
that.
who is
Those are the first words that come.
traveling higher above the ground. But that is not Atma. Then they think that this Atma will mix with Paramatma as though it is some small light and that comes out of your body and goes and merges with some big light.
Yeah.
So many wrong notions one has. If one doesn't understand those terms and terminologies, one will be only confused. One doesn't know what is the meaning of tyag, sannyas. One thinks it's leaving, like you had asked earlier, it is escaping, it is going away from ambition. One doesn't know what are gunas. One thinks as quality. But if we understand the fundamental text, this all will become clear. Then the Gita reveals such beautiful insights.
Right.
And my life will be completely transformed.
Mm-hmm.
So study these fundamental books first. These are written by Adi Shankaracharya ji. And if you want still simplified books, Puja Gurudev wrote Self-Unfoldment, Kindle Life, and Meditation and Life. These are books when we read, then our base is built strongly. And then we can build, the foundation is strong, then the whole edifice of Vedanta can be built beautifully. And once you study these books, then you study the Gita, then you come to Upanishads, then you come to Brahma Sutra. So that's the way one moves.
Thank you so much, Swamiji. So I think we can also link these books, the links of these books on our podcast so that people can have easy access. But even these books, Swamiji, Bhaja Govindam, Sadhana Panchakam, do we need some guidance to understand these, or can we like simply pick it up, read the commentaries and still make sense?
You can do both. If you take up commentaries, if you take up only the verses and study, unless a person is very, very reflective, they may not be able to understand its full depth. That's why commentaries are always helpful. So take up the commentaries of great masters. There are many of them who have written. Gurudev himself has written on Bhaja Govindam, Sadhana Panchakam, Tattva Bodh. Many of these books, the commentaries are there, and various other people have also written. And I would say that use technology, and there are talks available today. Listen to the talks. That will be much more engaging. As well as if you can join study groups or discussion forums where somebody is actually teaching. If you listen to it live and interact, question answers you are able to do, then much more clarity will come. And discussion also one has with certain like-minded people, that enhances the clarity.
Right, Swamiji. So, speaking of that, are there any opportunities for systematic learning in Chinmaya Mission?
There are many. Chinmaya Mission and Gita are synonymous. Gurudev made the Gita accessible to all the age groups. He brought it to the corporate world, brought it to the colleges of the youth, brought it to the army, brought it to the homemakers, brought it to all different age groups, professions. Even for children, he has written Gita for children. So, Chinmaya Mission has lots of opportunities. One is the commentary of Puja Gurudev himself. Holy Gita is one of the best commentaries. Then we also have systematic discussion groups where we study these fundamental books, conduct the discussions. For elders, it is called study group. For the youth, it is called the Chinmaya Kendra discussion group. One can study in those forums. There are trained sevaks who can guide the discussion. If one is traveling a lot or if one wants to do it at one's own pace, then Chinmaya Mission has the systematic courses which will come to you by snail mail or by email. So our research organization, Chinmaya International Foundation, chinfo.org is our website.
Right.
There the fundamental courses are conducted which will even prepare us for the Gita. So Foundation Vedanta course, Advanced Vedanta course. And then one comes to Bhagavad Gita course, then the Upanishad course. So each month you get 2 lessons and you answer the questionnaire and you send them back, you get evaluated. Next 2 lessons come, and over a period of 12 to 18 months you are able to study at your own pace, and there are practical exercises also that you can do. So there are lots of these opportunities. There's Gita chanting also that one can do. Competitions are being conducted, so that from childhood we get familiar with the Gita, so that when we chant, then we want to study, then we want to know the philosophy, then we will live the philosophy.
Right.
So that way there are a lot of these opportunities, and one can definitely study the Gita and transform one's life.
I just want to take a moment and express gratitude to Gurudev Swami Chinmayananda, because how he has made Gita popular. It's literally in everybody's hands, and it's so simplified that you can understand it. And I'm so happy, Swamiji. Thank you for sharing all these forums where people can engage in learning. As much as I love this conversation, we've come towards the end of it today. And towards the end segment, I have for you a few rapid fire questions. May I?
Yes, please.
So, Swamiji, what is one myth about spirituality you want to smash?
That it is different from the religion, and it is something that takes you away from life.
Okay. And what's that one myth that you've come across about meditation or sadhana?
About meditation, people think that it is a state of thoughtlessness or
True.
a blank.
Yeah. And if you got to explain the Gita to a skeptic in one sentence, how would you do that?
You are what you seek. Supreme happiness is what you really seek, and that is your true nature.
That's interesting that Gita tells it, because it's like all over all the quotations that we get on Instagram and WhatsApp groups, that you are what you seek. But I'm pretty sure that Gita comes with a lot of backing, and probably will also explain how this works. Okay, what is that one advice you would want to give to somebody who thinks that being spiritual or growing spiritually means being very serious 24/7?
Spirituality and seriousness don't go together. Spirituality and happiness go together. So if you are serious and spiritual, then either you are not spiritual or you have just misunderstood completely whole spiritual
I think there's also
life.
a misunderstanding here with the words sincerity is confused with seriousness.
Seriousness.
Do you want to tell something about how can one be sincere, not yet serious, and not a grumpy person who everybody is looking at and thinking, oh my God, I don't want to be spiritual if this is what being spiritual means?
So spirituality is required for what? Spirit means the self. What is your spirit? And that spirit's nature is happiness.
Mhm.
Happiness and seriousness don't go together. Sincerely, I pursue what I want to pursue. I find joy on the way and I find joy in the destination, because the happiness is not some destination I'm reaching. It is here and now, my true self. And the way is happiness. How can the way to happiness be seriousness and being sad? It has to be happiness. So the happiness is the way to happiness. And that's what spirituality is telling us. Sincerely, I pursue the path, I will discover that happiness. Sincerity and happiness are going together in the journey, in the sadhana.
One of the things that I found super interesting in the Vedanta philosophy is that it says you are already that. You are already the supreme consciousness. It's just that you've forgotten it. I mean, it is so difficult to digest sometimes, because everybody is asking you to probably become somebody, reach somewhere. And here they are telling that you are already that. Probably you've forgotten it. And you got to uncover a few layers to realize it. So,
True.
pretty interesting. Coming back to my questions, I have for you, is there a forbidden question about spirituality you think everybody should ask?
Ask always, why are you doing what you are doing, whether in spiritual realm or outside it. In fact, there's nothing outside spiritual realm. Everything is within spiritual domain only. So always ask, because when we don't ask, we are in ignorance. We get exploited.
Absolutely.
And if somebody forbids you from asking question, then that is not spirituality.
I'm not sure if all the people who are being asked questions to are going to be happy with your answer currently, but that's definitely giving us a lot of pump, the young generation, that it's okay to ask questions. Rather, you're encouraging asking questions, because sometimes we are looked very sternly when we ask a little too many questions.
If you are asking questions to learn, to know, there's nothing wrong in it.
Mm-hmm.
In our culture, Bhagwan himself is being questioned by Arjun. And Bhagwan is answering patiently. Bhagwan is not saying, I am God and I'm telling you, you just follow.
Yeah, thus the Gita, thus this conversation is happening. If
Exactly.
Arjun wouldn't have asked or Krishna wouldn't have allowed, then probably we won't be talking currently
Right.
on something called the Gita. One last one. What is the one belief you wish Gen Z can unlearn immediately?
That spirituality is not required right now. It will take me away from my ambitions and goals. Spirituality is that which will bring you closer to everything that you want.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, Swamiji. I loved the conversation today and I'm so happy you could join us. And we're looking forward to many more such interactions where we collect questions from youngsters, we pull in questions, and we also have masters who can answer it so that we get clarity. Thank you so much for joining in today.
Thank you,
Hari Om.
Cherish. It was a wonderful conversation to have. And it was nice to reflect on the Gita. And I hope that it will definitely inspire many young minds and inspire them to study the foundation books and then come to the Gita.
Thank you so much.
Hari Om.
Hari Om.